Shalom and good evening. This is Jonathan Hessen for TV7 Israel News, broadcast to you from Jerusalem. In today's top stories, Iran emphasizes its determination to strike Israel following Saturday's attack on the IRGC installations. The United States and Israel warn Iran that any future attacks would be met with devastating consequences. Iran appoints Naim Qassem as the new Secretary General of Hezbollah. The Islamic Republic of Iran is determined to once again attack Israel, despite losing a significant amount of its most advanced aerial defense systems, in addition to losing its capacity to produce additional stocks of ballistic missiles.
برای همه روشن هست که جمهوری اسلامی ایران از حق خودش در پاسخ به تجاوز رژیم صهیونیستی عدول نخواهد کرد. این حقی است که هم مسئولیت دولت جمهوری اسلامی ایران هست و هم حقی است که طبق حقوق بین الملل برای هر کشوری که در معرض تجاوز و استفاده غیرقانونی از زور قرار میگیره وجود دارد.
Despite lacking any legal foundation or justification for its repeated strikes against Israel, IRGC commanders have reiterated threats, pledging an offensive against Israel. In response, during a visit to Israel Air Force Ramon Air Base, IDF Chief of General Staff Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi put the Ayatollah regime on notice.
אם איראן תעשה את הטעות ותשגר עוד פעם מטח טילים לישראל, אנחנו נדע עוד פעם להגיע לאיראן, להגיע אפילו עם יכולות שלא השתמשנו בהן בפעם הזו, ולפגוע מאוד מאוד קשה גם ביכולות וגם במקומות שהפעם עוד השארנו בצד. עשינו את זה מסיבה מאוד פשוטה, שיכול להיות שאנחנו נידרש לזה עוד פעם. לא סיימנו את האירוע הזה, אנחנו ממש במהלכו. לא היינו יכולים לעשות את זה בלי היכולות המאוד משמעותיות שכל אחד ואחת מכם מביאים, ואנחנו עכשיו מסתכלים קדימה ואומרים דבר מאוד פשוט, אני אומר את זה לכם. אנחנו במוכנות מאוד גבוהה בכל הגזרות. נלחמים בלבנון, נלחמים בעזה, נלחמים בטרור ביהודה ושומרון ובעוד זירות רחוקות.
It is important to note that U.S. CENTCOM Commander General Michael Kurilla is scheduled to arrive in Israel tomorrow. According to sources in the know, General Kurilla's visit will focus on the Islamic Republic of Iran, in accordance with the Pentagon's cautioning of Jerusalem that Tehran may very well decide to launch yet another attack against Israel. Nevertheless, during last night's Pentagon press briefing, Major Pat Ryder merely stressed that the United States is keeping a close eye on Iran.
It's certainly something we're keeping an eye on right now. There is that possibility, and we have to be prepared for all contingencies. I think, again, as we've highlighted in our readouts with Secretary Gallant and Minister Gallant and Secretary Austin, we continue to remain committed to the defense of Israel and to be prepared should Iran opt to do something, but that's something we'll keep a close eye on.
Meanwhile, at the UN Security Council, Western powers pushed back at Iran's rhetoric, warning that any future strikes against Israel would carry severe consequences. According to U.S. Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield, while the United States actively constrained Israel's recent attack against Iran, any future attacks by the Islamic Republic would undoubtedly draw a greater response.
The United States did not participate in this military operation. Rather, we encouraged the government of Israel to shape the operation as it did. Again, a targeted, proportional, and direct response to degrade Iran's ability to threaten its neighbors, deter further attacks, and reduce the risk of further escalation. Today, the United States' message for Israel remains clear. We will always help secure its people and territory from Iran and its terrorist proxies and partners. Our message for Iran remains clear as well. Should it choose to undertake further aggressive acts against Israel or U.S. personnel in the region, there will be severe consequences. We will not hesitate to act in self-defense.
Iran, on its part, resorted to its regular state of victimhood. in a desperate attempt to claim legal justification for a future attack.
The responsibility for this dangerous escalation lies squarely with the Israeli regime and certainly with those who enable it, foremost among them the United States, which remain Israeli primary and unwavering supporter in committing these grave atrocities and also paralyze this august body to fulfill the primary responsibilities. The United States' involvement in Israeli aggression through its provision of technical expertise and advanced military system to Israel has further instigated and emboldened Israel to conduct its aggressive attack against Iran. Therefore, the U.S. government is complicit in Israeli aggression and will bear its consequences. Furthermore, the United States has already been complicit in the ongoing war crimes and genocidal campaign targeting civilian and civilian infrastructure both in Gaza and Lebanon. The vast majority of bombs Israeli drops on Gaza and Lebanon are US-made. In conclusion, Madam President, the Islamic Republic of Iran has consistently championed diplomacy as the pathway to addressing regional challenges and fostering peace and stability. However, as a sovereign state, the Islamic Republic of Iran reserves its inherent right to respond at the time of its choosing to this act of aggression, a right clearly affirmed under Article 51 of the UN Charter. Our response will be lawful and fully compliant with international law.
In response to the Iranian baseless rhetoric, British ambassador to the world body, Barbara Woodward, called the Ayatollah regime out, stressing that Iran is not only a victim in this conflict.
Both Iran and Israel have conducted direct strikes against each other. But Iran is not just the victim in this conflict. Now, however, is the time to stop. Iran should not respond. All sides must exercise restraint. No good can come of pouring more fuel on the flames of this escalating cycle of violence.
France, in its part, focused predominantly on Israel's defensive counteroffensive versus Iran's Lebanese proxy, Hezbollah.
C'est dans cet objectif que la France travaille à l'obtention d'un cessez-le-feu le long de la ligne bleue et à la pleine mise en œuvre de la résolution 1701. Toute autre solution ne ferait que renforcer l'instabilité actuelle. La souveraineté et l'intégrité territoriale du Liban doivent être respectées. Israël sait d'expérience que ses succès militaires ne sont pas forcément une victoire au Liban. En parallèle, la France est attachée à la sécurité d'Israël. Le Hezbollah doit mettre fin à ces attaques. La guerre ne doit pas permettre à ceux qui souhaitent l'instabilité de l'emporter, ni au Liban, ni nulle part ailleurs dans la région.
It is important to highlight that Iran designated a new leader for its Lebanese proxy Hezbollah, former Hezbollah Deputy Secretary General Naim Qassem. Consequently, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant posted on his X account, temporarily appointed, not for long. Meanwhile, the Hezbollah terror organization has launched hundreds of rockets, missiles, and unmanned aerial vehicles towards Israel in recent days, regrettably killing an Israeli Arab resident with a direct hit in the village of Tel Shicha.
היה מטח כבד של רקטות וטילים לאזור מעלות תרשיחא. קיבלנו דיווח על מספר זירות. השוטרים שלצערי כבר ערוכים מ-7 באוקטובר, למעשה אנחנו ערוכים ומתורגלים, יצאו מיד לזירות לסריקות, והגענו גם לזירה הזו, שלצערי אדם אחד שמייר לממד ולא הספיק להגיע נהרג.
כל הזמן אנחנו במקלטים, אפילו ישנים במקלטים. זה המצב, يعني קצת, يعني מפחיד את הילדים כמה. הילדים לא יכולים לשבת בבית. אנחנו נגיד שיהיה, אינשאללה, יהיה שלום ויהיה שקט.
Despite the tough situation throughout northern Israel, the IDF continues to deepen its operational achievements throughout southern Lebanon, systematically uprooting Hezbollah's terror infrastructure.
אנחנו נמצאים עכשיו במבנה שזה בעצם מחסן אמצעי לחימה כמה מאות מטרים מהגבול הבינלאומי. כמו שאתם יכולים לראות במחסן שנמצא, פצצות RPG, רימונים, ערכות חבלה, ציוד אישי, וסטים ממש שמיועדים לכל לוחם לצאת איתו. המקום הזה מיועד בעצם להצטיידות. לוחמי רדואן היו עתידים להגיע לכאן, להצטייד בכל אותם אמצעי לחימה ששימשו כנגדנו, ובעצם לצאת להתקפה לתוך שטח מדינת ישראל שנמצא פה ממש מאחוריי. כוחות חטיבה 2 שחשפו את המחסן הזה ישלימו את המלאכה, ישמידו את אמצעי הלחימה ויחשפו פה את השטח על מנת לשפר את ההגנה.
In addition to the operational successes garnered by the IDF ground forces, the Israeli Air Force continues to degrade Hezbollah military infrastructure throughout Lebanon, including in the Bekaa Valley, where it is currently conducting intelligence-driven precision strikes against Hezbollah's subterranean infrastructure that house large quantities of munition storage units. Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. I would like to encourage you to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Separately, if you're blessed by our programs, which are exclusively donation-based, please consider making a donation to TV7 Israel News. You can do so via our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. I'm Jonathan Hessen, wishing you an Erev Tov, and we will see you during our next update. Until then, Shalom from Jerusalem.